everybody, and welcome to episode 194 of the Let's Play world. We have a release date. 1.21 comes out on the 13th, and so that means this episode is going to happen, and next week there'll be an episode, and then we will be in the 1.21 update. You know, I always make these plans, and I have this vision of how things are going to go, and I imagined by this point we would be working on the amusement park and everything else, but we just keep finding stuff to do, and I guess that's a good problem to have. Speaking of stuff to do, I wanted to run back upstairs to our planning room. A long time ago, we put a bunch of stuff on the wall, and I wanted to see what that's looking like. So, up here, we have a few things, so add armadillos to the zoo. We'll get to that. Waterfront interiors. Back at our old base, we never did interiors on the waterfront. Fix up the north gate, fix up the south gate. Both of the gates on the north and south side are kind of crummy looking, so that could definitely be a project that we'll work on. Spawn chunk interiors. We built buildings at our spawn chunks, but we never did interiors there. Lock museum, that'd be worthwhile. Fireworks display. Still need to do that hostile mob zoo. Enhance the floating islands, that'd be great. Amusement park, we're definitely going to get to that. Potion brewer, we sort of have one at our old base, but we could do something updated, especially with some of these new effects that are coming. And then build portal in Nether monument. We did that. Oh wait, we just have to change the text. I forgot how signs work. Bam, nice. Okay. There were some other things we had over here. A glow ink farm, that might be interesting. Chicken farm. We sort of did that over at our jungle compound. We also did it at our old base, but I guess you can never have too many chicken farms. Pow. Clean up sheep farm. Zombify villagers. Update bee farm. Raid farm. This is an interesting one. I'm actually going to take it off the wall. Chow, because 1.21 sort of does away with how raids work. There's going to be this new ominous potion that will spawn a raid. So once we understand that a little bit more, maybe we'll do something with that. What else? End builds. I have so many end builds I want to do. I want to not only do the interior of the end island, but also out each of those satellite portals, we could do a build out there. I think this is going to keep us busy for a long time. So like I said, we've got this episode, and then next episode will be the last episode in 1.20 before we do the update. And when we do the update, I'm going to rebrand this particular series. And it'll look something like this. Well, hello everybody, and welcome to episode 194 of the Legacy Let's Play series. Today, we're going to get a couple of things done. One, I have been doing a lot of work in the end, and I want to get you up to date on that. And today, I also want to work on that nether tunnel that goes out to the Mushroom Island. Let's run down to the portal and go out to the end so I can show you what I've been working on. Watcha! Look at that. I did a lot of digging. So this is our kind of old tunnel that I had over here. I've started tearing the carpet up. I'm actually going to tear all of this out because I have a plan. So this is where we spawn into the end, and I have dug a tunnel all the way through the entire end island. So right where these are, this is where the first satellite portals are. And what we're going to do is build elevators. So we'll have a nice water elevator that'll take us up here. And then you can see we've got a portal there, a portal there, a portal there. So from these elevators, we'll be able to get to 3 of them. And then, kind of like we have over there, there's going to be a little hallway that goes out here, which will get to those 2. Same over there, those 2, those 2, those 2. And then on the opposite side of the island, we'll do the same thing. We'll have an elevator that goes up to 3 of the portals. And I think that will allow us to access all of them. It makes a little more sense when you see kind of a drawing of it. So you can see here, we just have a tunnel that goes all the way across the island, and then a tunnel that crosses the island, and then just a couple of other auxiliary tunnels that connect everything else up. Lots of water elevators, lots of building to do. I think it's going to be a really, really cool project. So let's see. That's not safe. Go back down the way we came. So here, like I said, we've got where we spawn in. We've got our first set of satellite portals. We've got our Enderman farm. If we run all the way across this thing, here you can see first cross hallway that'll go out to those next set of satellite portals. And then in the center here, this is going to be kind of the central hub. And I turned our elevators around. We used to come in on this side, so I just switched those around. And I think we'll also end up building a set of elevators on this side. This will go all the way across. This will go all the way across so we can get to those portals. And then again, we come down this way. We get to another hallway that'll go across to get to the next set of satellite portals. Here and here. So you can see this is the one we already built. And then have one down there. And then here we will build another set of water elevators to get up to the portal here and the 2 that are next to it. It's going to be a pretty big project. I think it's going to take a while to excavate all of this and to move in all of the stone and the deep slate and the iron. I might modify this design just a little bit because I do want some color so I can kind of tell where I am so I don't get all turned around. So we might have, like the orange hallway and the yellow hallway and, things like that. I think that'll be pretty cool. And then this central area here, right above it, there's a little area that I use for killing withers. And I think I want to build some sort of like actual stairway or something up to that so we can access it from down here, so that we don't have to actually run all the way up here and then like run down here. I think this would be useful if we could get at it in a different way. And then perhaps we could even decorate this. It's going to be pretty awesome, I think. It's going to be a huge project and it'll look amazing when it's done. And then, like I was saying, each of these portals, I would like to go out there and see what's what and build something out at each of those. I think that would be a really fun and worthwhile project. A lot of this, I think I'm going to do on live streams. So if you enjoy watching me stream, this is what you're in for. Lots and lots of end digging. I think it's going to be great though. All right, let's head back up and let's talk about the Nether. Last episode, we built a portal way, way, way out on that mushroom island. And I think today I want to work on connecting it up with the rest of our tunnels. So I've had a few questions about what the future of this series is and what's the new series going to be like and things like that. So my plan is this. I want to continue this world, but I will probably do it a little bit less frequently. So the main series will be the new series. I'm going to try and do it really regularly. I think I might initially just start by kind of alternating weeks. So one week we'll do the Legacy series, then the next week we'll do the new series, kind of back and forth maybe. And then perhaps we'll get to a point where I can do the new series every week. And then these Legacy series episodes will be just kind of whenever they're ready, a little more sporadic. We'll see though. I don't know is the short answer. I do have a real life and a job and things like that, so I can't just play Minecraft all of the time. This world is very, very late game. I've got all the stuff, and so we can accomplish things very, very quickly. We have access to lots of resources and materials. The other series is going to move a lot slower. And that's kind of the point of the new series. I'm excited to get back to iron armor and no elytra and really, really wanting diamonds and that whole thing. So that is what the new series is going to be about. It's going to be about starting a fresh world in 1.21 and building back up, but really, really taking our time with it. I wouldn't mind, of course, having enchantments and having diamond tools, but no rush. We're not going to race to the end. We're not going to race to the dragon fight. We're going to move very slowly and very deliberately. Part of that is because I want to approach the game a little differently. I want to focus heavily on villages. I want to build our base inside of a village, and I want to connect villages. I want to primarily trade with villagers as far as resources, enchantments, things like that. So I want to kind of take my approach with the game in a very different way and see how it goes. I think it'll be fun. Once 1.21 comes out, I will give you more details on that, and I'll let you know when the first episode's coming out and all of that. But back over here, we've got this hallway that used to just come down here and turn right, and this goes out to the jungle compound and the Nether monument. We've got our blaze farm here, and now I've dug out a little bit this way, and we kind of open up into a big crimson forest. My least favorite biome, as you may or may not know. So I'll show you what we're kind of looking at here. There you have it. So, I'm wondering, just based on how the Nether works, if this is the same Crimson Forest that we spawned into over on the Mushroom Island. It very well could be. But I think today what I want to do is build and tunnel all the way over until we find that, and then kind of see, what we want to do there. As far as materials, I'm not sure what I want to do. All of our hallways kind of have a different look to them, and this long, long hallway is mostly basalt, and so I think I want to kind of change it up a little bit. And the other thing I think I want to do is kind of change up this intersection a little bit. It's not very attractive in my opinion, so I want to come on down here, and then we'll have this intersection which we will clean up in some way, and then we have this stairway down to our blaze farm. And I think right here, I want to do another stairway down to our blaze farm. So those two stairways sort of meet up at a landing, and then the landing will continue down there. So that way, if you're coming from this direction, you can turn in here, or if you're coming from the opposite direction, you could turn into this new area. And that way we'll have a couple of ways to get into the blaze farm. So I'm going to go gather up some materials, and then we will do some digging and some bridging, and we'll see what we find. There's a couple of things we have a lot of right now, and one of those things is endstone. We have been clearing out a ton of it from the end island, so I have an amazing amount of this stuff. And then because we are going out to a nether fortress, we're going to have access to a ton of nether brick. And one thing that's interesting about endstone is it does have this purpley kind of accent in it, and it goes really nicely with the nether brick. I think if we use a purple frog light, that will all kind of tie it together. I'm not saying this here is the design, but I think this here is going to be our color palette. It's real weird, and it's real different than anything we've done before, but I feel pretty good about it. So I'm going to load a bunch of this into a shulker box, and then we'll head back out to the nether. Okay, phase one. I have torn out a lot of the basalt at this intersection and replaced it with blackstone. I think it looks really, really sharp. I've also extended it out a little bit, so the intersection is not just where a couple of roads come together, but it's a little bit of a destination. So there's a little bit of blackstone that pokes out here, pokes out here, pokes out here. I've saved us a spot where we can do a stairway down to the Blaze Farm that will kind of mirror that one. And we've got this nice big blank wall in case we ever want to tunnel out in that direction. I think I'm going to tear out the basalt ceiling just so that it feels like a little break in our design language here. So when you're running down the hall, all of a sudden we'll have this nice little blackstone area. Okay, phase two. I raised the ceiling up a little bit and I added some blackstone to the ceiling. I think it looks a bit more finished and very, very cool. I don't know what to do with this quite yet. I kind of like the netherrack. I think it looks kind of ominous and kind of neat, this red kind of cloudy texture. But being able to see outside and see down this hallway, it also looks a little bit unfinished. So I'm not sure. We'll do something with that probably. And then, yeah, we've got our staircase down to the Blaze Farm. We'll have another staircase down to the Blaze Farm. We'll get some soul soil in here so we can run nice and fast. And I think it's going to be great. What's this guy going to do? That's what I thought. So this here I cleared out all the way down to where it opened up to that Crimson Forest. And I think the next thing I want to do is figure out a little bit of a design for this tunnel. So, phase three, starting to like this. The really bright end stone with the nether brick, it's a cool look. I notched the ceiling a little bit just to give it a little bit of a different character from some of our other ceilings. And the design I'm starting to settle into looks sort of like this. So, got some end brick, got some regular end stone, got some chiseled nether brick, got our frog light, and it's a nice combination of textures and depth, and I think it's going to work out pretty well. I might vary it just a little bit, and I'm not totally sold on the ceiling. I might include some end stone in the ceiling just to get that brightness up there as well. And then we'll get some of the soul soil in here and put some carpet on top. Right now I'm thinking just black carpet to kind of mirror this look that we've got out here, but we'll see. Once I start laying it out, we'll see how I feel about it. A little bit more progress. I did a bit of a transition from the blackstone to the shorter hallways, just using a couple of stairs and a slab. So I did it here, and I did it here, and I did it here. And I like how it sort of encloses the space a little bit, and it's not quite such a stark transition from here to there. And then I started fleshing this out. Little bit of a design change. Instead of just a stack of nether brick, I did nether brick and then a nether brick wall. And that gives it a little bit more depth. So these end bricks poke out a little bit on either side. And then I added a slab whenever we get this kind of stripe like that. Adds a little bit of brightness to the ceiling. I do think I like the black carpet. It's a very spooky, kind of moody hallway. And then we've got the lights periodically. So I think I'm going to go with this design. I think this is a cool, cool look. And I'm going to keep working on that till I get down to the end. And then we'll figure out what's next. Well, there's the first bit. Looks really cool, really spooky, really unusual. I very much like it. And I like the little detail, you know, where you can see like the chiseled stone, where you can see the edge of the end stone, a little bit of the notch in the ceiling. It looks great. The tunnel comes down to here, where we kind of intersect with where this Nether fortress was. And then it opens up into a crimson forest. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to extend this and start digging through and see how far out our portal is. Well, this isn't too terribly far away. I mean, it's not close, but it's not like thousands and thousands of blocks. I was using nether brick because it's going to end up being our walkway anyway. And you can see we're out in the middle of this, oh, hello. We're out in the middle of this big crimson forest. And as we run across, we dip into this cluster of netherrack. And we go for a little bit. And then right up here, we're going to poke back out into a crimson forest. Just a little bit. And we dip back in. And then back into the crimson forest. And this is where we left off. So, not too terribly far. Maybe this twice more, if I had to kind of guess. Between episodes, I'm going to continue working on installing the floor in our tunnel, and I might work a little bit on the intersection as well to get that all straightened up. If you want to be like these folks and support the channel, click on the join button just below. I've got some really cool opportunities for membership that are as low as 99 cents. Helps me out, and it's a lot of fun. And I think that's where I'm going to wrap this one up. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you had fun. Please like and subscribe if you want to follow along on the adventure. And I hope to see y'all in the next one. Bye-bye.